being with us and getting us to this point as we are about to round the corner here with our committee work. So remarks from my colleagues, Representative Meskers, to be followed by Senator Martin and Representative Harrison.
I think my co-chair is always hesitant when she passes the microphone with good cause. I want to thank the chair and my ranking members, Senator Martin and Representative Harrison. We've had an incredibly collaborative experience. I think I won't summarize because we've still got one more meeting. I'm going to just advise in advance. Tuesday, we will be hosting a meeting to bring the last of our bills to fruition. I'm going to, in that case, urge the clerk and try to keep the votes open till 2 or 3. But I urge people on Tuesday to pay close attention because I'll want you to close out votes so we don't miss the deadline for presentation into the assembly or into the House and Senate. So we need to get the bills registered and sent on up for what's happening on Tuesday. Today, I have requests at least to keep the votes open until 3. I think we've made at least that commitment, but we'll see how long the day goes. Thank you.
Senator Martin, thank you. And Representative Harrison.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As we know, we've been doing some great work, and it's time for us to bring our bills out and get them voted on. So with that, Madam Chair, let's get going.
Thank you so much, Representative Harrison. That brings us to item number 3, which is bills for final action, of which there are 13 on our agenda. I will note, colleagues, that we are going to hold number 10, and we will revisit that on Tuesday, as Representative Meskers has indicated. And with that, I would, Representative Harrison.
I'd like to make a motion to start a consent calendar.
And without objection, we will start a consent calendar. So moving to our first item, which is SB 157.
Madam Chair, do you have to get a second on that calendar?
Yes, we'll do second. Moved and seconded. Basically, without objection means we're all good. Okay. Okay. So item number 1 is 157. That is an act concerning a research development expenses tax credit for pass-through entities. This is a JFS to the floor. We are dealing with LCO 3066. This is something that this committee has been an advocate for previously in terms of recognizing our smaller business entities, which many of whom are small manufacturers, small mid-sized companies, the ones that struggle all the time with doing R&D and cannot avail themselves to this tax credit. They're the same ones who constantly are challenged by actually the workforce, which gets poached by the bigger players here. And so in some sense, this creates a tax parity. Yes, Representative Harrison.
Madam Chair, without objection, we'd like to place this on the consent calendar.
Seeing no objection, so ordered.
Excuse me. I just want to clarify. I think the agenda notes the JFS to finance, but I think you said to the floor. I just want to clarify.
Oh, thank you for that.
Maybe for
Yes,
the
you're right. It is JFS LCO 3066, and that does go to finance. Thank you, Council. That's why we always need you here. And Representative Harrison, you have moved to put this on the consent calendar.
Yes, Madam Chair.
And Seeing no objection, so ordered. Item number 2 is SB 248. This is an act establishing the Connecticut Ireland Trade Commission. This is a JFS to the floor, and before us is LCO 3148. You'll recall that we had some very good testimony on this. It creates a 23-member trade commission. It's kind of propitious at this time in view of Brexit, and also the void that exists right now without having a national trade agreement. This will strengthen the relationships and identify mutual opportunities for academic collaborations as well as economic. Representative, yes. Representative Harrison.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to introduce an amendment, if I may. I'd like to amend the bill to add the 2 ranking members of commerce or their designees to the committee or commission, and reduce the number of appointments by the governor in line 18 by 2. I move adoption of the amendment, and when the vote's taken, request that it be taken by the roll. Unless we feel it's a friendly amendment, you can do a voice vote. Thank you.
And is there a second? Moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Seeing none, we could voice vote this. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Thank you. The amendment carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, and the item, is it consentable?
Yes, Madam Chair. Move that it be placed on the consent calendar with
Okay.
as amended. Thank you.
And putting it on the consent calendar as amended without objection, so ordered. Item number 3 is SB 249. This is an act concerning the Early Childhood Business Incubator Program. This is a JFS to the floor, and before us we have LCO 3069. We heard some very interesting testimony on this, which is actually a one-of-a-kind model that other states are now looking to us to emulate. It basically is addressing, obviously, the great need for child care, in particularly early child care, and also the support and the scaling of the small business sector of early childhood businesses. I will entertain a motion. Yes, Representative Harrison.
Madam Chair, without objection, I move that we place it on the consent calendar.
Is there a second?
Seconded by Carrie. Representative Wood.
Thank you. And is there discussion? Seeing none, without objection, 249, item 3 will be placed on the consent calendar. Item 4 is SB 250, an act establishing the Global Entrepreneur in Resident Program. This is a JFS to the floor, and this is LCO 3339. This came to us from the business sector. Actually, last session, we commissioned a working group, which we are ever grateful for, that was co-chaired by the head of the bio sector, Dr. Paul Piscatello, and CBIA Representative Ashley Zane. Looked at the other models, recognized the incredible value to the state to begin to engage in a program like this. And the proposal before us would have DECD being the initiator in conjunction with CI, because this is about bringing in entrepreneurs to the state and benefiting obviously from the launching of those businesses and the jobs they bring to the state. I will entertain a motion. Yes, Representative Harrison.
Madam Chair, without objection, I move we place it on a consent calendar.
Okay, and is there a second? Moved and seconded on the consent calendar. Is there discussion? Seeing none and without objection, we will put item number 4 on the consent calendar. Item number 5 is SB 378. This is an act concerning, and I'm just going to shorten it, and PFAS, folks, for background data study for the purposes of economic development. This came to us from the licensed engineer professionals who have been, who are the entities in terms of making assessments to move commercial and industrial properties, and particularly with the advent of PFAS in our environment. We have found that it is now causing many of our commercial and industrial proposals, projects to come to a screeching halt. Our surrounding states have already engaged in this kind of a study. The background study will give a framework and thresholds with regard to PFAS to make a determination in instances where we can move forward with a property and there would be certainty for the investing and the regular community. I would note that the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection is in support of this, and some 24 months ago, there was a study that was commissioned by the governor's office, which actually called for this to be done. I will entertain a motion.
Without
Yes.
objection, Madam Chair, I move that we place this on a consent calendar.
And is there a second? Having moved and seconded, is there a second? Second. Carrie, Representative Wood, thank you. Moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Seeing none, without objection, this will be put on the consent calendar, so ordered. Item number 6, SB 379. This is an act increasing the rate of the credit refund value for certain expenditures by biotechnical companies. This is a straight JF to finance. This comes to us from the industry, and it will, of course, go to finance. It basically, we recognize the fact that we're in the second year of the biennium, and, you know, there are great challenges in terms of our bandwidth, in terms of what, you know, we are able to do with regard to tax credits. This is important in terms of sending the message to the biosector that we continue to advocate and support, as we have invested so significantly in this sector, both in our academic institutions of higher education and also in our business sector. So essentially what this does is increases the credit refund from 65% to 100%. The reason for that is to be in competition with our surrounding states, particularly New York and Massachusetts. New York having the 100%, Massachusetts at 90%. And so we want to be in that game, having made these significant investments. So I will entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, without objection, I move we place this on a consent calendar.
Thank you, Representative Harrison. Is there a second? Thank you, Representative Cheeseman, moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Seeing none, without objection, this will be added to the consent calendar. Item number 7 is SB 430. This is an act authorizing the bonds of the state for advanced manufacturing apprenticeship and community robotics center. This is a JF to finance. This also, you will recall, is the product of a working group that was commissioned over the intern by this committee. And it came to us from actually the industry, which is in dire need of growing our population of technicians who do the actual repair of the industrialization of manufacturing the robotic piece. and that is the science of Metatronics. We have property actually at the Tungus Community College, which the state has invested $8 million. Representative Senator Martin will, be very pointed on the progression that happened here. This piece of real estate is just being shuttered. And through a lot of negotiations, and I want to recognize Senator Martin's leadership on this, we have now the agreement from the community college, Tungus, to actually start the advanced manufacturing program in this location in September, when hitherto they weren't going to be able to do this. So, we find a way. It's good. We can always find a way. The $4 million allocation is for the fit out of the rest of the building, which would be to bring the I-4.0 piece to this advanced manufacturing center, and also the robotics center, which basically is the feeder population to recruit the young talent into this sector, which is so desperately needed. You'll recall the presentation that we had from Concept with the Ernst and Young, which basically highlighted the fact that we have more than a silver tsunami coming in the manufacturing sector, in particularly these advanced manufacturing segments, and that, along with the incredible competition in this sector, will cause Connecticut to lose its edge if we cannot meet this challenge for talent. Is there a motion? Yes. Representative
So
Harrison.
moved.
We'll discuss in a minute.
Without opposition, I move we place this on the consent calendar.
And is there a second?
Second.
Okay, and now discussion. Yes, Representative Poulos.
Thank you. I just wanted to make a comment, as a high school teacher, as a parent with kids involved in robotics, and an uncle with nephews involved in these programs. We talk about disengaged youth in the education committee, and we talk about kids on screens and the challenges that we face. And I can tell you firsthand that these programs engage kids in this important sector of our workforce. And it's not just in electronics, but there is a social and an emotional, interpersonal component to these robotics programs, which is an area of concern. And just this past week, I rushed out of here. I went to my kid's middle school. He was in a robotics, the final kind of competition, and watched them interact. But between each of the matches, they had the older kids stand up and talk about the positive impact of robotics on their experience in schools. And so I endorse this wholeheartedly. And I've watched kids go from middle school to high school to competitive colleges, and then into the workforce, filling hardware and software positions that are challenging to fill. So this is a great bill.
Thank you so much, President Poulos, for sharing that with us. Yeah, it is pretty riveting. And I guess this is the quintessential example of meeting youth where they are, and engaging, because we know the fact that when you talk to, and understandably so, them about manufacturing, it's like, oh no, that's not where I'm going. And parents as well. And we've invested, mightily in advertising about manufacturing and so forth. This is the real world's way to introduce them to manufacturing. Much agreed. Further discussion. Seeing none, item number 7, 430 will be placed on the consent calendar. Brings us to item number 8, which is House Bill 5190. This is an act concerning the historic homes rehabilitation tax credit. This is a JFS to the floor, and we have LCO 3220. before us. This actually is the results of unintended consequences of changes that were made legislatively last year, hoping to improve this tax credit program. Inevitably, corporations were banned from being able to participate in the tax credit program, and this now we see the error of our ways is the remedy. Representative Meskers, do you want?
Yeah, this came to us in committee with testimony, and basically it's as simple as the tax credit is extant and the beneficiary or the applicant is a nonprofit. Through a redraft last year, we prohibited the transfer or purchase of the tax credit or utilization by corporations. The nonprofits came to us and they need basically a sale option on the tax credit to generate cash to continue their rehabilitation work. So it's no more than a profile of how they can access the credit from the tax or the cash from the tax credit and providing the ability of a corporation to purchase it. So the work they do is pretty compelling. It's part of the rehabilitation in our cities, which is, I think, a focus for, the things in commerce that we focus on is the growth of the economy. We did remediation for growth for solutions to our industrial sites in our cities. And this is part of that, it's part of the orchestra of rehabilitation and growth in our cities. So I highly recommend it to my members.
Thank you. Is there a motion? I'll entertain a motion. Representative Harrison.
Without opposition, I move we place this on the consent calendar.
Having been moved, is there a second? Thank you, Representative Wood and Representative Harrison. And is there discussion? Seeing none, without objection, item number 8 is added to our consent calendar. Item number 9 is House Bill 5300. This is an act concerning the Investment Connecticut Fund Program. It is a JFS. To the floor before us is LCO 3117. And this came to us actually from a House member who had a real life situation where a corporation, I believe in his district, because they primarily, they were an international company, the majority of their employees not being in the state of Connecticut, but the way the Invest Connecticut legislation existed, there was no discretion on the commissioner's part to work with such a company that is an important part of the state of Connecticut, but because they're international, they're never going to have the majority of their employees here in the state. This gives the commissioner discretion in those situations. Representative.
One, I want to thank Representative Gresko for bringing it to our attention. And two, I want to thank the collaboration with the DECD, who indicated that they were hopeful and suggestive of the language. They were satisfied that this would give them a small level of discretion to expand the use of their funds. We've asked them pointedly, I think, to keep track, and I know we've got a member sitting in the back knowing she's listening to me. We'll be asking for reports come next session in terms of the applicability, the situational of who benefits, so we could just keep track that we're happy with the utilization. But I strongly recommend it, and know that this discretion is not overarching. It's on one item within the conscripts of what they can do in terms of the lending. So the overall intents and purposes of our original language, I don't think will be violated. I think this better fulfills the spirit of the law. So I urge recommend passage.
Thank you, Representative Meskers. And I'll entertain a motion. Yes, Representative Harrison.
So move.
So we have a motion. Is there a second? Thank you. Is there discussion? Representative Cheeseman.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And this proposal seems worthy on its face. My concern with this, I would not want the ability of companies who are domiciled out of state to use tax credits that might otherwise be used by Connecticut companies in residence in this state. So I was wondering if there were anything in this change that would require DCD to look at, have we maxed this out? And we are not foreclosing the opportunity of Connecticut companies to avail themselves of this tax credit.
Thank you, Representative Cheeseman, for that question. And indeed, that's the focal point of the concern in reviewing this. And that is, I believe, the reason for the commissioner's discretion. So he looks and he makes, that decision based upon these circumstances. Obviously, first and foremost is the support in every way that we can of Connecticut-based companies. On the other hand, we recognize in this age of, global boundaries that we want to be seen, and particularly as we stand up a lot of these commissions and so forth, as a friendly place to begin to see a lot of those companies take advantage of the situation with Brexit and so forth.
All right. Well, if the chairs and the rankings are assured that the commissioner would have sufficient discretion to parcel this out only when he felt we were not foreclosing other Connecticut companies from using it. Obviously, we want to encourage the kind of investment you mentioned, and a job created is a job created. The person getting that job probably doesn't really care whether or not the company is domiciled here or not. So you have reassured me as long as this has been considered. Obviously, you have wisely put a 2-year time frame on this. So if it came back and we had companies coming before us saying, hey, we applied and you'd already used them up, we could address that. So thank you for your explanation. I am reassured. And if there is a desire on the part of the other members of the committee, I would have no objection to this being placed on the consent calendar. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And is that a motion? Place on the consent calendar.
Yes.
Okay, having a
So
motion
moved.
before us, is there a second? Thank you, Representative Harrison. Further discussion? Seeing none, without objection, item number 9, 5300 will be added to the consent calendar. That brings us to, we are holding item number 10 to be, of course, revisited. That brings us to item number 11, which is House Bill 5501. This is an act concerning a study of manufacturing issues in the state. This is a JF to the floor. This is, yes, indeed, Representative Dale, a placeholder. As you might recall, we had probably 6 such titles for this purpose. We have tried to be diligent and really narrow it down. And so this is one of those in the event, and particularly because of the short session, if there is need. And so I would entertain a motion on this.
So moved.
And is there a second? Moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Representative Vale.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thanks for your transparency as always. So this again, it says an act concerning a study of manufacturing issues in the state. There was some language to it. There was opposition, written opposition to the bill itself as a study. But is it my understanding that there was an intent, there's no intention for a study to be done, but this to be on the agenda to use as a placeholder in case something else comes down the line?
You are absolutely right. And we did hear from Chief Manufacturing Officer Paul Lavoie. And by the way, I recommend that everybody get a hold of those reports that he identified in his testimony. And of course, this is on the subject of manufacturing. So an important sector and something that, this committee has really been, front and center and advocating for. But yes, you are correct, sir.
Okay, thank you. And again, I feel as if we have ample time and this committee is very good at having, public hearings and giving people an opportunity to come up with informational forums. And that, we can do stuff off session too. So I do believe there's always ample time to get stuff done before our deadlines. So I never customarily support placeholders. I always vote on what's right in front of me, but I appreciate your honesty. I will definitely be voting no for this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Vale, and I hear you. Representative Musker.
So, and further to the comments from the chair, I would just recommend to everyone, and I'd ask the clerk if she can reach into her magic bag for the Consteps report they provided us with, which was a report from Ernst and Young. Just not because of this bill, but just generally, I thought Ernst and Young had the most profound observations regarding our manufacturing challenges in the state. So along the lines of we've got work to do after session, Representative Vale, we've got some meat there to figure out the next steps for the next session. So I appreciate, and I wouldn't object to it. I understand exactly your position. I wouldn't say I support, but I thoroughly understand your position and no objection to your vote. So thank you.
Thank you, Representative Meskers. Further comments? And I will just mention to you, as we reference that Ernst's report that came to us from Constep, that is being sent under a copy of the Commerce Committee to our federal delegation. If you recall, parts of the report identified the regulatory obstacles that Connecticut manufacturers have been challenged by. And so we wanted to highlight that and send under the cover of this committee to the federal delegation. Further discussion? Seeing none and moved and seconded, I would ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Calling roll for HB number 5501, an act concerning a study of manufacturing issues in the state. JF to floor. Senator Hartley,
Yes.
Representative Meskers,
Representative Meskers votes yes.
Senator Rahman,
Senator Rahman votes yes.
Rep. Fazzino, Senator Martin,
Senator Martin votes yes.
Representative Harrison,
Yes.
Representative Anderson,
No.
Representative Anaskovic,
Yes.
Representative Cheeseman,
No.
Representative Curry, Representative Figueroa,
yes,
Representative Foster, Representative Garibay,
Yes.
Representative G, Representative G,
G votes yes.
Representative Heffernan,
Heffernan votes yes.
Senator Hockenell, Representative McGorty,
McGorty, no.
Senator Miller,
Senator Miller votes yes,
Senator Needleman, Representative Poulos,
Representative Poulos votes yes.
Representative Rochelle,
Rep. Rochelle votes yes,
Senator Summers, Representative Vale,
No.
Representative Wood,
Wood votes yes.
I
Thank
just
you.
want to check one last time. Senator Summers was online. I just want to,
Oh, okay.
okay, nope.
Probes. And so, thank you. And the votes will be held open we're just gonna wait for some advice from you, Madam Clerk, in terms of how long, because I know we're going to be going into a screening meeting afterwards, but the votes will be held open. Okay, that brings us to item number 12, which is an act concerning a study of programs administered by the Department of Economic and Community Development. This is a JF to the floor. And this also is a placeholder. Once again, having the previous discussion and the reasons for that. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you. Moved. Is there a second?
Second by Senator Martin.
And Senator Martin, thank you. Moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Yes, Representative Bale.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, obviously, you already said this is a placeholder. I always vote on what's in front of me. The study's in front of me. It has some opposition from the commissioner again. So again, I'll be voting no. And thank you for your openness.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and so once again, we know what the purpose of this is. And I think the commissioner might even support it as opposed to us having to then defer to the agency bill. But anyway, with that, I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Calling roll for bill number HB 5502, an act concerning a study of programs administered by the Department of Economic and Community Development. JF to floor. Senator Hartley.
Yes, Senator Hartley, yes.
Representative Meskers.
Representative Meskers, yes.
Senator Rahman.
Senator Rahman votes yes.
Representative Fazzino. Senator Martin. Representative Harrison.
Yes.
Representative Anderson.
No.
Representative Anaskevich.
Yes.
Representative Cheeseman.
Yes.
Representative Curry. Representative Figueroa. Representative Figueroa.
Sorry, can you hear me? I am having trouble showing
Yes.
my face. I vote yes, and I will show my face as soon as I'm able to do it. There. Thank you.
Representative Foster. Representative Garabay. Representative G. I will go back to Representative G. He's just logging back in. Representative Heffernan.
Heffernan votes yes.
Senator Huckadell. Representative McGordy.
McGordy is no.
Senator Miller.
Senator Miller votes yes.
Senator Needleman. Representative Poulos.
Rep. Poulos votes yes.
Representative Rochelle.
Rep. Rochelle votes yes.
Senator Summers. Senator Summers. Representative Vale. Oh, wait, hold
No.
on. I'm sorry. Senator Summers, can you hear us?
I can. I'm sorry. I couldn't unmute quick enough. Senator Summers votes yes.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Representative Vale.
No.
Representative Wood.
Wood votes yes.
Representative G.
Which bill is this? I'm sorry, I got disconnected.
That's okay. Bill number HB 5502, an act concerning a study of programs administered by the Department of Economic and Community Development. It's being JF'd to the floor. Number 12 on the agenda.
G votes yes. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much.
That concludes the roll on that item, Madam Clerk.
That concludes the vote
Yep.
unless Rep. Fazzino would like to vote on item 12.
Okay,
Yes.
That concludes the vote.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That brings us to item 13. This is House Bill 5503. This is an act concerning a study of workforce shortage, workforce development and training availability. This is a JF to the floor. Yes, Representative Vale, this is a placeholder also. We just identified the placeholders by virtue of topic. And so this one, the all-encompassing, all challenging workforce issues. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
And is there a second? Moved and seconded, discussion. Yes, Representative Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I echo the representative of the 52nd's comments. Deeply appreciate of your transparency that this is a placeholder, but also concerns about placeholders that we may have legislation appear on the floor that didn't get a proper hearing. I also note, but this is a very important issue. Workforce shortages are greatly hampering economic growth in the state. The DEC commissioner said that this bill was unnecessary because there is already a draft report out of the Office of Workforce Strategy, which I looked at. It's 299 pages. It's very descriptive, though it's not proscriptive, really, that I noticed how to fix the problem. Some of the things I think we need to look at as legislators and maybe as input to this report is improving the path to licensing. You know, we heard testimony at a previous hearing how that hampers the ability to fill jobs in the HVAC industry. We heard Tuesday as just an example of many. I've heard it from electrical contractors and others. I also think another thing we got to look closely is the impact of generous welfare program on the workforce shortage. The Unified State Plan draft did talk about the Jobs First employment services, but not really the impact of welfare on keeping people, as incentivizing people to stay out of the workforce. We really need to look at that closely. So I need to oppose this bill as a placeholder. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Yeah, thank you very much, Representative Anderson. Appreciate your comments. And yes, totally in agreement with regard to the workforce importance and prioritization of it. And, you know, this is obviously an instrument, you know, if we need to keeping them honest. There's $70 million in the Career Connect initiative. And it's ever important to make sure that that is being deployed with the greatest return to us, the taxpayers. Thank you, sir. And Representative Meskers.
Yeah, in terms of workforce training and preparation, et cetera, I think I'm appreciative of the placeholder because I think that we still may have subjects that arise on the back of that. Certainly our testimony we listened to when we were working on the robotics and our conversations with the university system made me concerned about the level of cooperation between our Office of Workforce Strategy, our Department of Economic Community Development, and our university system. And I think we are engendering the right level of cooperation on some of those fronts. You notice that we're moving forward on the robotics bill. I think engaging the workforce, engaging the opportunities and leaning in is what we're trying to do here. So I'm appreciative of, the concerns of growing it. And I personally am in support of the placeholder, but I understand your concerns.
Representative Meskers, further comments? Seeing none. Yes, Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
Calling roll for bill number HB 5503, an act concerning a study of workforce shortages, workforce development and training availability, JF to floor. Senator Hartley.
Senator Hartley in the affirmative.
Representative Meskers,
Representative Meskers votes yes.
Senator Rahman,
Senator Rahman votes yes.
Representative Fazino,
Yes.
Senator Martin,
Yes.
Representative Harrison,
Yes.
Representative Anderson,
No.
Representative Anaskevich,
Yes.
Representative Cheeseman,
Yes.
Representative Curry, Representative Figueroa,
Yes.
Representative Foster, Representative Garabay, Representative G,
G votes yes.
Representative Heffernan,
Heffernan votes yes.
Senator Huckabee, Representative McGorty,
McGorty, no.
Senator Miller,
Senator Miller votes yes.
Senator Needleman, Representative Poulos,
Rep. Poulos votes yes.
Representative Rochelle,
Rep. Rochelle votes yes.
Senator Summers,
Senator Summers votes yes.
Representative Vale,
No.
and Representative Wood.
Wood votes yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And that brings us to item number 4 on our agenda, and we have before us today 2 bills to be referred, the first of which is SB 160. This is an act concerning the Learn Here, Live Here program. It is a referral to appropriations. This is a familiar proposal to this committee. And actually to the legislature as a whole. It goes back to a time, I think, in 2012 or so, where we put this on the books in a it was in a permissive mode. This institutes the program. It's a proposal that we have previously advanced in view of the fact that time has passed. And inflation is bared upon all of us. You see that the annual expenditure has moved and now to $5 million to accommodate this program. And the other change that we made in our last iteration, I believe it was last session, was to also include private high schools as well as in-state and public. With that, I will entertain a motion. Yes, Representative Harrison.
Madam Chair, without objection, I move we place it on the consent calendar if we may do that.
So you can have a voice vote on this one.
Yeah,
It's not a final
the
action.
referral.
Yep.
Okay. And so this is it a motion to set JF to the floor?
So
Refer-
moved.
Yeah.
To refer to. the
I'm
floor.
sorry, to refer.
Refer.
Thank
Let's
you.
start again.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a motion to
Re-
refer
To-
to
Yes.
Appropriations
All
Committee.
right, got that. And a second, Representative Woods. And is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll? Yeah, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Seeing none.
Aye.
Favor, the motion carries. Okay, which brings us to item number 2, which is House Bill 5093. This is an act increasing the funding for the Artist Fellowship Program. It is a referral to appropriations. And you will recall the testimony from one of our House colleagues about the importance of this program and the proposal, which would amount to, I believe, a 50% increase, totaling about 147K. Is there a motion
So moved.
and a second? Moved and second.
Although the representative didn't reach out to me individually, which is not a concern to me, the testimony And the impact of arts in our communities is essential. You know, we think of, as we try to lift people up and lift up our towns, the arts and fostering and supporting the arts is very important. A majority of the requests we get from our Commerce Committee and some of the others are for our largest art institutions. And I'm not objecting to those, but those are the people who tend to have the most leverage. This is for individual grants, I believe in the $1,000 to $3,000 range for people who are scraping by and doing and developing their artistic future. And we know how tough both the revenue stream and the futures for those groups are. So anything that it fosters the art growth, and as I said, the dollar amount is de minimis of 147. So I urge my colleagues to support this. I think it's both not just well-intentioned, but I think it's worthy of our support. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Meskers. Further comments, discussion? Seeing none, I'll ask all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Ayes have it, the motion carries. That brings us to item number 5. And is there anything that we need at this point to discuss? I see none, nothing. Yeah. Oh, and we will now vote on the consent calendar. Madam Clerk, if you could just read through the consentable items for just the benefit of the committee.
Items on consent calendar. Bill number, Senate Bill 157, an act concerning a research and development expense tax credit for pass-through entities. It's a JFS to finance. SB 248, an act establishing the Connecticut Culture and Trade Commission, JFS to floor, LCO 3148.
And so, Madam Clerk, we did put SB 248 on consent as amended. Did you?
Oh, sorry, as amended, yes. I have that written. I did not read that off. As amended, thank you. SB 249, an act concerning the Early Childhood Business Incubator Program, JFS to floor, LCO number 3069. Senate Bill 250, an act concerning the Early Childhood Business Incubator Program, JFS to floor, LCO number 3069. Is that correct? 3069. Senate Bill 378, an act concerning PER and PFS background data study for the purpose of economic development, JF to appropriations. Senate Bill 379, an act increasing the rate of the credit refund value for certain expenditures by biotechnology companies, JF to finance. Senate Bill 430, an act authorizing bonds of the state for an advanced manufacturing apprenticeship and community robotics center, JF to finance. House Bill 5190, an act concerning the Historic Homes Rehabilitation Tax Credit, JFS to floor, LCO number 3220. House Bill 5300, an act concerning the Invest Connecticut Fund Program, JFS to floor, LCO number 3117.
I think, Trish, you might have skipped number 4 on the agenda. SB 250.
Business Incubator,
It's the, I have the Global Entrepreneur in Residence Program, SB 250, JFS to floor, LCO 3339.
one second. SB 250, sorry. An act establishing the Global Entrepreneur in Residence Program, JFS to floor, LCO 3339.
Okay, done.
All right, that's the consent calendar.
Okay. You've gone throughout, so that's the consent calendar, and you may call the roll, madam,
Senator Hartley,
in the affirmative.
Representative Meskers,
Representative Meskers votes yes on the consent calendar.
Senator Rahman,
Senator Rahman votes yes.
Representative Fazino, Senator Martin, Representative Harrison,
Yes.
Representative Anderson,
Yes.
Representative Anaskevich,
Yes.
Representative Cheeseman,
Representative Cheeseman votes yes.
Representative Curry, Representative Figueroa,
Representative Figueroa vote yes.
Representative Foster, Representative Garabay, Representative G,
G votes yes.
Representative Heffernan,
Heffernan votes yes.
Senator Hockenell, Representative McGorty,
McGorty's a yes.
Senator Miller,
Senator Miller votes yes.
Senator Needleman, Representative Poulos,
Rep. Poulos votes yes.
Representative Rochelle,
Rep. Rochelle votes yes.
Senator Summers, Representative Vale,
Yes.
Representative Wood.
Yes.
That concludes the votes.
Oh, it's gotta be for a time certain. So yeah.
Hey there. Hello?
Okay, so it's gonna be before YouTube. Unless you can.
I can just write it later, so it's.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me, Senator Huckabee?
I can.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right. Agenda item 10 was held. Being held till Tuesday. So I'm gonna go through the bills that did not go to consent first. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. If at any point you can't hear me, just let me know.
Okay.
Let me put these back in order here. All right, here we go. Item number 11 on the agenda, which is HB 5501. How do you vote?
Yes.
Huckabee votes. Yay. Agenda item number 12, House Bill 5502. How do you vote?
Yes.
Yes. Agenda item number 13, House Bill 5503. It is a JF floor. How do you vote?
Yes.
Huckabee, yes. Then, before we get to consent calendar, item 1 and 2, on the refer to appropriations and refer to appropriations, those went to voice vote and those passed with a yay.
Beautiful.
Okay. Consent calendar, ready.
Mm-hmm.
Item number 1, which was SB 157. Item number 2, SB 248. Item number 3, SB 249. Item number 4, SB 250. Item number 5, SB 378. Item number 6, SB 379. Item number 7, SB 430. Item number 8, HB 5190. Item number 9, HB 5300, and that's it for consent calendar. How do you vote?
I vote yes.
Senator Huckabee votes yes. Thank you so much and have an amazing day.
Thank you, you too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, Representative Garabay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, so we have, I'm gonna do consent calendar last. So we had 2 bills referred, Bill SB 160 and HB 5093, items 1 and 2, in the bills to be referred section of the agenda. Those were voice voted on, and those were voice voted yay. All right.
And the what?
They were voice voted on, the 2 referrals, and it was passed with a yay.
Okay.
All right. Item number 11 on the agenda, House Bill 5501. How do you vote? Oh, you voted on, you were here for that one. You voted yay.
Yeah, I thought so.
You did. Hold on 1 second. Okay, here's one. Next item on the agenda, number 12, House Bill 5502. How do you vote?
Let me just I'm trying to find it here.
I can read it for you. An act concerning a study of programs administered by the Department of Economic and Community Development. It was a JF the floor.
Yes.
Representative Garabay votes yes. Item number 13 on the agenda, House Bill 5503, an act concerning a study of workforce shortages, workforce development and training availability. The JF the floor. How do you vote?
Yes.
All right, that moves us on to consent calendar. And consent calendar consisted of.
You don't even have to. I was there for most of it. I vote yes.
Okay. Oh, awesome. You have been counted. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. I was so confused. I got the text. We're voting in a probes and then they took a break.
Okay. It's one of those days.
Anyway, but thank you so much for your patience with all of us. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being available. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You
Bye.
too. Bye-bye.
Hello. Can you hear me and see me?
Do you want me to come to you to vote or vote over Zoom?
Where are you?
Sorry, I can't.
Yeah, if you can't hear me, definitely come to me. I'm still in the game.
You're in the committee room?
I'm still in 1E.
Okay, I'll come right down.
Okay. All right, Senator Summers, if you could just give me 1 second to get back up to the room.
Okay.
I'll be right there. I'll be right with you. Waiting on an
Okay,
update.
sorry, I'm away, so I'm trying to get in as soon as I.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience, Senator Summers. Okay, you're muted. There you go. Try that again.
I couldn't hear you.
Thank you for your patience. Can you hear me now?
I'm not hearing you. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, whatever you're saying?
Saying thank you for your patience. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. We had. I'll press the board. It's the board call. I think it's consent calendar. Okay. I'm so sorry. I apologize. All right. Consent calendar for the referrals. Let me just see. Those are 2 voice votes. The referrals to appropriation went to voice vote. They passed.
Yes.
Consent calendar.
Okay, yep.
Okay. Consent calendar was SB 157, and that's concerning a research and
I
development.
vote yes. Summers votes yes on that.
Summers votes yes on the entire consent calendar.
Yes.
All right, these went to roll call votes. Item 11, 12, and 13 on the agenda. Item 11 is House Bill 5501 concerning.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Can you speak closer to the
Okay.
microphone?
Is this a little better? I can lean in.
Ugh, this is so annoying.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. If I lean closer, maybe that will be helpful. It seems like the signal's weird. We have House Bill 5501, an act concerning.
Summers votes yes.
Okay. Roll call item number 12 on the agenda is House Bill 5502, an act concerning a study of programs administered by the Department of Economic and Community Development. You voted yes on that? You were there?
Yes.
I have you for item 13. So you're good to go.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.